My A1C went from 12.2 to 4.4, which might sound hard to believe. You might think medication did it, but it didn't. It was 3 specific food changes, and the process was slow and steady, not instant. For me, it took about 18 months, and it took a real commitment and patience. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what those food changes were and the order I'd suggest trying them out. None of them required eating less. If this helps you, please tap the like button and let's get started. Now, before I show you those 3 foods, there's something important I wanted you to know. For years, I thought I was the problem. Maybe I lacked discipline, had too much appetite, or something inside me was broken that thinner people didn't have to deal with. I carried that belief for decades. You know, it was like a heavy weight on my heart. But it wasn't true. I was never the problem. The real issue was the information I was given and the plan that set me up to fail. Let me take you back to the moment everything changed for me. I was sitting in the chair talking to my diabetes nurse about my numbers. I had just been weighed, and the number hadn't changed in a month. 342 pounds. I told her, I'm telling you, I'm weighing and measuring every single thing I put in my mouth, and it's 1,200 calories or less a day. What else can I do? And you know what her answer? That changed my life. She said, eat less and try exercising more. I was so mad. I was already starving myself. Can you imagine 1,200 calories to try and move almost a 350-pound body? That was the whole plan. Eat less, as if I hadn't been trying to do that since I was a child. As if 350 pounds was just a math problem I was too lazy to solve. I couldn't eat any less. I was already doing P90X 6 days a week. You know what? I never went back. She was wrong. There had to be another way. I needed to feed my body and feel good. Sitting in my car, I felt the shame. The same shame I'd carried for years. If you've ever sat in a parking lot or on a bathroom floor or at the edge of your bed feeling that way, you're not weak, you have been set up. No one in that building ever told me the real issue. It was never about how much I ate, but what I was eating. The type of food mattered more than the amount. That's the main reason I'm here sharing this with you today. When I stopped worrying about how much and started focusing on what I was eating, everything changed. I spent 16 years learning and reading everything I could, and it always came back to the same truth. I lost over 210 pounds. My A1C dropped from 12.2 to 4.4, and I did it mostly with raw, whole plant foods, along with 3 specific changes I'll walk you through now, one at a time, so you can see how each one helped, and the last one even surprised me. The first change is grounded flax seeds. They're really good for you. Studies show that the soluble fiber in flax seeds slows glucose absorption, and the lignans and omega-3s improve insulin sensitivity. Just make sure to grind the flax seeds first, or your body won't absorb them. I add them to my morning juice or smoothies, my dressings, and my sauces. You can also sprinkle ground flax seeds over salads. It's an easy way to use them every single day. If you buy them by the pound, even at Whole Foods, they usually cost about $4 to about $6.50 per pound. And you get about 45 servings per pound. That's a simple way to help your body. Let me explain what flax seeds were doing for my blood sugar every single day. They have soluble fiber. It's a type of plant fiber that dissolves in water and forms a gel-like substance. This slows down digestion and keeps your blood sugar steady. Since your body can't break it down, it also feeds the good bacteria in your gut. So you get two benefits for the price of one. Picture your bloodstream as a calm, steady river. Most foods add a little water to that river, which is fine. But some foods are like breaking a dam upstream, causing a sudden flood. Then your body is left trying to handle the flood with just a few small buckets. That was me, facing that flood several times a day, lying awake at night, exhausted, wondering why nothing worked. When I made the one change, the flooding started to slow down. I want to be honest, it didn't happen overnight. It took time, about 18 months. And I had to stick with it. Some weeks, I saw no change at all. And there were days when it felt like nothing was working. On those tougher days, what helped me the most was tracking how I was feeling. I had so much more energy, I slept better, and wasn't as thirsty all the time. Even if those changes seemed small, I'd write down one thing I did right, even if it was just making a good choice at one meal. That tiny act kept me motivated during the slow patches. I didn't beat myself up because that's completely normal. And if you are seeing slow progress or even some setbacks, it doesn't mean you're failing. Healing is never a straight line, and slow steps forward are still moving you in the right direction. For the first time, my numbers started moving in the right direction. And it was because I ate differently. Just one food, one change, and things began to settle down. Slowing the food was only part of the solution. My body was still tired from years of struggle. It needed something more, something I had always avoided. And that's where change number 2 comes in. If any of this is making sense to you, please tap the like button. Also leave a comment with one food you've always wondered might be working against you. I read every single comment, and foods people mention most often become topics for future videos. So let me know what's on your plate right now, the thing you're not sure about. Now for change number 2, berries, especially blueberries and cranberries. In 22 studies, eating these berries lowered A1C by 0.32% and also reduced fasting glucose. The reason is, I know I'm going to mess this word up, anthocyanins. That's it. The deep color in the berries, which help improve insulin sensitivity and block some glucose absorption in the gut. I thought, add fruit? Sure, I'll try it. Not only does it help the insulin, but it also supports your immune system through its antioxidant content. Here's the key. Supplements with, okay, here we go again, anthocyanins didn't work as well as eating the real berries. So yes, eat berries at least 1 cup a day. Think about it this way. These foods work together to help your body manage insulin sensitivity better. That's something most diets never even tell you. Diets often treat your body like a vending machine where you press a button and get a result. I want to show you how simple this can be because I know it can feel overwhelming, especially at first. You don't need dozens of ingredients or a personal chef. When you are just starting out, I always suggest a basic smoothie, frozen berries, a big handful of greens, a spoonful of ground flaxseed, and some water. That's it, just 1 glass. You are already giving your body more than most people get in a whole day. Okay, let me pause for a moment. After leaving the appointment with the diabetes nurse, I promised myself I'd find a real solution. And it took a lot of trial and error. I didn't lose the weight that year, or even the next, but I did lose it, all 210 pounds. I want to save you from feeling like a failure, because it's not your fault, and it wasn't mine either. I just didn't know what I needed to know. That's why I created the Spark Protocol. It's a free guide that walks you through the first steps, including the beginner smoothie and other recipes, so you're not left guessing. You can get it for free at jodyisaacson.com. The link is in the description, and if this video speaks to you, that guide is your next step. It only takes a minute to grab it. Now for change number 3, the one I've been leading up to. This whole food dropped my A1C by a half a point all by itself. It's full of soluble fiber, feeds the good bacteria in your gut, and is packed with protein. Plus, it costs pennies per serving, literally. Takes about 5 minutes to prepare and stays fresh in the fridge. I'm talking about lentils. I sprout mine, which is really simple. I get my lentils from the sprouting company, which also has great sprouting jars. I use about 1 cup of dry lentils, cover them with water, swirl it around, and then pour off the water. Then I refill the jar and let it sit on the counter for about 6 hours. After that, I strain and rinse them. Then I cover them with a towel. And in the morning, I rinse and drain them again, and by lunchtime, they're ready. 1 cup of dry lentils yields usually about 3 or 4 cups of sprouted lentils. You'll have a whole jar ready to go. And if you prefer, you can cook them instead. Either way works. If you're wondering how to fit lentils into your day, here's a couple of good ideas. Toss cooked lentils with chopped veggies, lemon juice, and a little olive oil. Or you can make protein bars using lentils. Sometimes I scoop a big spoonful over greens with berries for a filling lunch. Or blend them into a simple dip with garlic and lemon. Eating 1 cup of lentils a day was one of the best things I did for my blood sugar. Think about the cost. These 3 foods can help lower your A1C, and together they cost less than $2 a day. I used to stand in the grocery store afraid of foods that grew straight from the ground, reading every label like it was a warning. I lived that way for a long time. Letting go of that fear once I learned the truth felt just as good as seeing my numbers drop. Maybe even better. Fear is its own kind of weight, and I finally got to let it go. That's the common thread in all 3 changes. The first slowed the flood, the second gave my body what it needed, and the third was my favorite of all. When I put all 3 together over 18 months, they helped bring my numbers down to a range that I never thought was possible. Not with medication, not with punishment, not with another round of just eat less, but with real, whole, mostly raw food. Here's what I want you to do with all of this. If you know someone who's scared of their own numbers, someone who thinks they're the problem, share this video with them. Not for me, but because they deserve to hear what no one told me when I needed help. You were never the problem. That's the real shift. You just needed the right information. And if you're looking for support as you start, know that you're not alone. Hit subscribe and get notified to be part of our community and hear what's coming next.